K-Rino Radio. Ha. K-Rino Radio. Ha. Ha. Let's tell them about it. You're listening to K-Rino Radio on 90.1. Who is he? What is he? What does he do? Where is he from? H-Town, where the independent grind was invented. Understand, I'm the property owner, you just a tenant. KPFT is the station and location for the really special guests. Good knowledge and information for the coldest on the air. We making a strong case. If you scared of the truth, then you in the wrong place. Every Friday, 11 o'clock p.m. Central. We cooking the game, serving it up, feeding your mental. You can even call in, dial 713, backdoor with 526 KPFT. We ain't playing with them, we gon' tell it like it is, partner. Out of town, KPFT.org, yeah, we got ya. How'd I get on the airways? I know y'all like, wow, K-Rino Radio, homie, starting right about now. Yeah, we got ya. How'd I get on the airways? I know y'all like, wow, K-Rino Radio, homie, starting right about now.
Yes, indeed, and we are starting right about now. It's Friday night, 11 p.m., and y'all are tuned in once again to K-Rino Radio. This week, we are live. We back in the building, man. We've been gone a while, man.
Too long.
Yeah, man. I feel like we've been on vacation, man.
I like it, though.
Yeah, you know, I like to be close to the people, man. We back in the building. Once again, if y'all are listening, make sure y'all contact somebody and tell them to tune in right now. If you're in the city of Houston, at 90.1 FM. Or if you want to check us out online, let them know they can go to www.kpft.org. And if you want to join in on the conversation, the number is 713-526-KPFT. And it's your big brother K-Rino. I'm joined by my homie Murder One, the OG.
Yo. What's up?
My homie to my left, Keith Stowe, No Regret Media in the building, man. Straight up, man. We up in this thing, man. And tonight, man, we're going to set it on fire tonight, man. We've been having some fun the last few weeks because we've been having some great guests coming on, and we've been really just getting them out the way, man. But tonight, you know, we back on it. We back on them and setting the fires again. So we're going to go straight into it, man. Shout out to the homie Q Solo from Number One Spot that came and joined us tonight.
Yeah.
My brother from another. And look.
If you ain't one, you got to be two.
Hey, without a doubt. And look, and second place is you just the first loser, you know.
Really?
But it's all good, man. You know, as we know, the NFL is cranking back up. All the football fans, they happy. Everybody ready to rock and roll. All the owners are ready to make those millions and billions of dollars that they generate every year.
Yeah, Academy blowing out of control also.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Academy?
What you mean? The Texans, outfits.
Oh, yeah. No, everybody giving Bob McNair his money, you know.
Right.
So, but everybody ain't happy, man. You know, everybody's not happy. Everybody's not satisfied because we are still, this season is just a carryover in a lot of aspects from last season with the protest that started off due to the fact that our brother Colin Kaepernick still hasn't received a roster spot on the NFL team. And we've touched on this a couple of times, and we're going to continue to deal with it. So I'm letting y'all know now. If y'all want to jump in the conversation, get ready right now because we're going to set it on fire. We're not going to pull no punches tonight.
Check this out, Kay.
Go ahead.
I don't want to stop your intro, but I was listening to, Chatterbox today. He had Ralph Cooper and a couple of guys on there, and one of the guys made this blunt statement that Kaepernick, he's not even trying to find a job. He don't even want a job because he don't want to even get hit anymore.
Was he he was saying in a joking way? Or
no, he's very serious.
Yeah.
He said he don't need to get out there anymore.
Yeah. Well,
he ain't getting hit.
Well, and the thing is, my thing with Colin Kaepernick is that I salute him because he made the ultimate sacrifice. He made a sacrifice that a lot of players wouldn't have made. See, there are a lot of people who share the same feelings that he have, but they're not willing to step out on a limb like that to risk it all in similar vein that a Muhammad Ali did back in the 60s when he was stripped of his title due to not entering into the draft as a conscientious objector. So it's the same thing. History just repeating itself in a different form.
He just solidified his spot in history.
Look, the same way that history vindicated Muhammad Ali. History is going to do the same thing for Colin Kaepernick. You know, I believe that at a time is going to come where people are going to start to understand, you know, that his stance was a righteous stance. Yeah. But what we going to deal with today, because it's been a lot of new developments taking place. You know, Jerry Jones came out over the summer and basically threatened his team and told them basically, y'all better not kneel, y'all better stand for the anthem. And that caused a lot of uproar. That sparked a lot of outrage from the black community and from a lot of people who felt like that was a violation of the constitutional rights of the players and just the right to be able to stand up for what you believe. So we're going to deal with all that. You know, I've been watching people argue on Facebook, Cowboy fans, Texans fans, they arguing with each other over which slave master is the worst out of Bob McNair. Well, Bob McNair called his players inmates, and Jerry Jones threatened his players and said they better stand up. But in reality, man, once again, they are different wings on the same bird. You know, it does no good to argue over which one is worse, all because you still want to root for your team. And we'll go into that, because when does the line have to get understood to say, is this game, is this sport more important than the principles that these players are trying to stand on when they kneel in protest to police brutality?
I don't even think they even thinking it is that anymore. They didn't wipe that out.
Who, when you say they, you mean
the owner of the NFL?
Oh yeah, well,
and the president.
Thank you. You took the words right out of my mind. The president of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump, he is the narrative changer. He's the king spin master. He is the one who kind of grabbed this thing and turned the whole purpose of it into something that it never was in the beginning. And you talking about a man who has blatantly, outright disrespected members of the military. He's disrespected war veterans. He disrespected John McCain and different other military members, then turn around and try to use the narrative that these players' protests are a disrespect to the veterans and the military.
Right.
That's the BS and the spin that they like to put on it, in order to take the focus off of the real reason why they protesting in the first place.
Exactly.
And that is a stance against police brutality in this country that's not being dealt with, not being addressed properly, because let's just be real about it. They don't care. The government don't care.
Yeah, and it's still going on?
Yes, it's still going on. It's going to continue to go on, but we want to speak to a bunch of different points, because people agree with everything we're saying right now. We in unison, but there's people that out there listening right now that may disagree with what we're saying, and they may have a different point of view. Y'all are welcome to call in, and we can argue and debate within this hour.
713-526-5738.
No doubt. Just to make it easy on your KPFT, find those numbers. You know, now. There have been people like Malcolm Jenkins that are still protesting. People like Marshawn Lynch, my dude, that's my dude right there. Marshawn Lynch ain't tripping. And people are saying, well, man, this ain't about football. This is about they should be ready to play the game. This isn't the stage for it. Now, I've had this conversation with several people, you know, friends or whoever, and we just want to make it understood that a protest is not supposed to be something that's comfortable. A protest is not something that's supposed to be convenient to the establishment that's being protested against.
Exactly.
That's not how it works. Because if that was the case, then what would be the purpose of it in the first place? A protest is always something that has to ruffle the feathers of the system, of the establishment, to make people know, hey, look, this is what we're doing. And what better platform to use than the world stage, if you have that option where you can make that stance. And these individuals who step out on that field, this is who the people paying to see. They're not paying to see the owners. I don't care if you did buy the team. I don't care if you did purchase the stadium. I don't care if the sponsorship money from the corporations is going to you. Exactly. The people are showing up, putting their butt in them seats to see those players. So my point to the players would be, it's cool to protest, but I would love to see them exercise their real power, and that would be the power to just withdraw altogether.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Shut them down.
We ain't playing. And then let's see what happened. Now Jerry Jones is the same guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Who didn't want to? Emmitt Smith had a contract dispute years and years and years back, and he didn't want to pay Emmitt Smith the money that Emmitt Smith deserved and that he felt like he deserved. And Emmitt Smith held out for like the first couple of games of the season, and Dallas was losing. And he immediately came to the table and gave Emmitt Smith the money that he wanted. So you talking about 2 games with one player stepping out, and that pressure of those losing those games made him have to go head on and make the right move. Just imagine if all of the black athletes, the star players in the NFL decided to say, man, we chilling. And I know what y'all thinking. Y'all like, man, well, they ain't gonna do that because they making that money, and you know, you have different pay grades, and all that's true because you got guys that can afford to sit out a year, could afford to sit out 2 years, kind of like Colin Kaepernick. But you have other players, rookies that just got in the league.
Yeah,
he might not have that kind of bread, but a system should be put in place to protect those players, to help those players stay up too, and that would have to be done collectively by the whole players union. And this just me, this just K-Rino talking. But saying all that to say this, is that I don't like to see our brothers and sisters operate from a point of fear, negotiate from a point of fear. Something Minister Farrakhan said, he said, never negotiate from a point of weakness, always negotiate from a point of strength. So whether you get the deal, whether they accept what you're trying to put on the table or not, don't come in there like, we just trying to see if you can maybe give us. No, go in there with strength, with what it is you want, what you demanding, and go for it. And hopefully, if it's meant for you to happen, then God will bless you with it. So that's what we talking about right now, man. This Freelance Friday, we're gonna be all over the place. We're not just gonna be on the NFL. We got a lot of things to cover because it's a lot going on. But again, if you want to join in, the number is 713-526-KPFT, and you can talk about whatever we talk about tonight. Is it anything y'all want to throw in that piece on this NFL blast before we move on?
I was laughing at Jerry Jones because ain't he the same one that he pulled this last year?
Yeah.
At first he was kneeling that 1 week, and then the next week he said, "I dare y'all to kneel."
That was just a fake photo op moment, just grandstanding. He ran out there on the field with all of the players and decided, I'm gonna kneel down. I guess he felt like that was gonna be something that would end it all, and because he did it, that would be something that would make everybody just say, okay, now it's over with. No, it's not over with, because you have corporations that are still sponsoring these teams and kicking out money to the NFL, and these are the same companies and corporations that black people, brown people, that we spend money with every single day. So now we translate it over to the fans part of it, and our responsibility that if we care enough about that particular cause, stop spending your money with these companies. And I guarantee you, when those corporations start to see their numbers declining, some gonna have to come. Some gonna have to give. Somebody gonna have to come to the table. But as of right now, we just kind of waiting in limbo. And I would love to see players to continue to protest and kneel and keep bringing attention to this. But we gotta make other moves to push it a little further as well.
The boycott still continues.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I would love to see an all-out boycott of the NFL. That would be beautiful to me. I mean, they're so hypocritical, man. And a lot of times black people get accused of playing a race card. It's like, oh man, anytime somehow, y'all playing a race card. But in this change of the narrative in this whole protest, the card that's been played by the president and by the NFL has been the disrespecting the military card and the disrespecting the flag card. That's what they use all the time. And it's not true. And it's funny because everybody knows that Colin Kaepernick was just sitting down chilling. That was his form of protest. He was just chilling, minding his own business. Yeah. And a former Green Beret, who was also a former NFL player named Nate Boyer, was the one that came to him and told him, hey man, it would be more respectful if you kneel instead of just sitting down. So this is a veteran telling him and giving him this advice, and it was still taken and twisted. And when people mention that about Nate Boyer in interviews on a national stage, they always kind of gloss over that. They don't never look at the fact that, hey, look, a veteran himself is the one who told this man that it would be more respectful to kneel, because they don't want to address the issue of police brutality taking place predominantly in the black neighborhoods. They don't want to address that because it's something, number one, that they are intentionally carrying out, number one, and number two is something that they don't want to be exposed or have the top blown off of. So that's what we on tonight, man. One of the things that we on tonight here on K-Rino Radio, KPFT 713-526. KPFT is the number y'all want to join in. But we're going to keep it rolling, man. This is Freelance Friday. We got a lot of things that we want to talk about, and any topics that my co-hosts want to bring up, that some things that they may have seen going on out in the world. Y'all are more than welcome to chime in on that. Moving on to point number 2.
Let's go.
Man, it's getting hot in the White House. And Omarosa got them receipts on them boys, man.
You say she done videotaped it.
Man, Omarosa is not playing. And we want to discuss both sides of that, because that's a topic that exists on a couple of fronts. And front number one is just the issue itself that, of course, Omarosa was an aide. She's a black woman. Everybody know who Omarosa is. You should. And she was hired on in the Trump administration as an aide and fired quite recently. But she went out blazing. She left with receipts because she has a lot of taped conversations with herself and members of the White House staff and Donald Trump himself, where she has alleged that he's used the N-word several times, not to mention some of the other people in his cabinet that have, in these conversations, tried to clean up and hide certain things that's going on. And I think one of the articles I read is that everybody in the White House is terrified right now. Can't nobody even sleep right now because they scared of what Omarosa might
pull out,
have on them. Now, before we take this first call, the other part of it, we're going to deal with the black community real quick, because Omarosa is a controversial figure, especially among the black community, and a lot of people have been upset with her for years and years because they felt like she was always kissing up to Trump and all this stuff, and you trying to get next to Trump and blah, 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 when we could look at Trump and see him for who he is. And it's like, why does she not? And she's been called an opportunist, and she's turned her back on the black community and things of that nature. So now people are debating over whether or not her move to do what she's doing now and basically expose Trump's White House and his administration, is that a move that is just from the pureness of her heart to do and to expose them, or is it because she felt slighted, she felt some kind of way about how she was handled in the White House, so now she's seeking her own revenge, and people in the black community are like, we still ain't letting her back in?
Yeah, me personally, I think she just took, what was given to her to get where she at. I'm not saying she's an opportunist, but it seemed like the move she made, it seemed like she's an opportunist. But at the same time, to expose him was the right time to do that.
Well, and also too, man, it's so many levels to it, because she was clearly hurt about the situation, which in my eyes, I'm like, why are you surprised? If you sleep in a bed with a rattlesnake and it bites you and injects poison into you, why would you be surprised that the snake did what's in its nature to do?
Right.
So if Donald Trump is carrying out, if he's using the N-word, which I'm 1,000% sure he is, and I don't even have no tapes.
Right.
If that's the case, then why would you be surprised? And one of the tapes actually was speaking on the fact that he had used the N-word, and one of the aides, I don't know if it was her or one of the other aides that she was on the phone with, was like, well, let's try to figure out a way to spin it to make it not look like what it really was. So they were even defending him after they had knowledge that he had used that kind of language. But we'll take this first call and we'll get more into detail on that subject. Let's take Shorty Rock is on the line. Go ahead, my brother.
What's going on, Mr. K-Rino? How's it going, my brother? How's it going out there, you people in Radio Land?
We blessed, man. Glad to talk to you, family.
Man. I was just looking at TV, waiting on my Uber Eats, and I'm like, let me get on K-Rino. God, he texted me. I'm like, you know what? And I was listening to what ESPN was talking about, how they was doing about the Super Bowl, man. I was trying to see, what did y'all think on that situation? Not Super Bowl, I'm sorry, the football games where they're going to stop showing the national anthem on a certain channel. I think it's ABC. What do you think about that as far as us protesting and showing our rights during that time, and now they're trying to block it out? What do you think? Is that something positive or something negative, or what do you think about it?
Did they mention anything about not putting the camera on the actual players?
They're not going to even show it.
They're not going to show it at all. So that's a move to kind of pacify and smother the point, which again is still a disrespectful move, because if those brothers are protesting and those cameras are showing them protesting, it brings attention to the cause that they're protesting in the first place. So for them to just remove that from view of the public, it's in my opinion, it's a pacification, it's a pacifying move, and it's satisfactory in a way. It's going to be more satisfactory to white folks who are offended when they see those black players kneel down in protest. Now it's like it turns neutral, and eventually over a 16-game season, it's going to kind of go away, because people are going to get used to not seeing the national anthem played and the suspense of saying who's going to kneel today. They're going to still do it, but the only people that will see it will be the people who are actually at the games, and maybe the reporters, ESPNs and the Fox and all those people that will still be covering the games. They may come back after the fact and say this particular player kneeled. He was seen kneeling, or da-da-da-da-da. So it may still get out, but it's a coward move by the NFL, in my opinion, because it's still not addressing the issues.
Yeah, because they already giving them fines if they should do something like that. I heard. Now also is a fine in now, I guess, so it won't be seen anyway. So why you gotta do both now? Why you gotta have two? You know what I'm saying?
Isn't the government with they have like a contract with the NFL where they gotta play that?
Well, no. What happened was years ago, the military, I think in 2009, the military jumped in bed with the NFL and paid them X amount of dollars in order to actually like show the national anthem. Maybe it was before that, but it was a business deal that took place between the military and the NFL, while the national anthem is even played before games and shown in the first place.
I think it had to do something with 911, I want to say.
Well, I mean, that was in 2001, and I'm trying. And trust me, I'm not acting like the expert on this, because I'm not 1,000% sure.
In 2009 they actually passed something. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
wow.
But there was a deal in place where the NFL made a deal with the military in order to see, because the military was trying to enhance their enrollment. So they wanted to present that on a big stage to kind of encourage and inspire more young people to join the service. So, again, they figured what better platform to use than these sports events. So, okay, y'all hustling.
Yeah.
So why y'all mad if these athletes use the platform to get their point across as well? So it's a hypocrisy in my eyes.
And I think it's going to be more controversy, because the simple fact is it's still going to be visual. You know what I'm saying? Just because we're not going to see it on TV, that don't mean they're not going to film it.
Yeah, it'll be 60,000 people watching it, and it'll be other people still mentioning the fact that this particular player, this particular, right. I'm laughing at something that Keystone just put in front of me, but thanks for the call, Shorty Rock. We appreciate you, my brother. You welcome to call in anytime, man.
Already.
Thank you, brother.
Already good job.
Yeah, no doubt,
yeah,
man.
but I think it'll be more problems, like I said, because the simple fact is the cameras don't lie, and the camera's gonna be rolling, and the camera's gonna be looking for something like that.
Well, what he said was that they're not going to even show it.
Well, that's on
camera's
TV
not
wise.
gonna even film it, you know.
Well,
now, but trust me, everybody in the world got an iPhone.
Yeah.
So everybody going to be going live. They're going to be zooming in on to see if this guy's kneeling. So the people who do it, it's still going to come to the light who does it.
Right.
And that's just the NFL's way of trying to cover it up and thinking they can make it go away.
Well,
and that's not going to make it
Well,
go
check
away.
this out. Look, just happened the other day on the news, the fight Hopkins had. You see how quickly it hit the media?
Right.
So it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
no doubt.
We living in an age where, man, you can't do nothing in public, man. Somebody got a camera.
Everybody in the media.
Yeah, everything is going to be visual. But yeah, we'll keep moving. Again, we was on the whole Omarosa situation too, man. And it's funny because this president would always speak highly of Omarosa. He speaks highly of any black people who kiss his butt, pretty much. That's how you get down. But the second that she decided that, okay, she going to start putting everybody on blast, he sends out a tweet. Mm-hmm. Did y'all see the tweet?
What do you call the low life?
Hold on, let me read it. Let me read it. I got the quote. He said, he put this on Twitter. He said, when you give a crazed, crying lowlife a break and give her a job at the White House, did he say, great job, great work by General Kelly for quickly firing that dog.
That's right.
So here's the thing you got to ask yourself. If this man will publicly tweet in front of the whole world and call this woman a dog publicly, you think he ain't using the N-word privately?
Yes.
I knew that.
That's easy money right there.
Well, you know, he's so rich, he can say what he want. Well, he been saying what he want to say.
Well, his arrogance also what drives him to say what he wants to say, and his racism.
Oh,
that's what it is more than
Let's start
anything.
first.
He looks down. He looks at black people and brown people in a certain way. This man has a history of criticizing black successful individuals, and particularly black women. You know, he took some shots at Jamel Hill, who worked for ESPN. He always seems to have an issue with black women. You know, he's took some shots at LeBron, and him and LeBron just had their recent thing. And anybody who kind of, in his mind, undermines his so-called greatness, he has an issue with him. LeBron is out here doing great things, doing positive things out here, building schools and really making an impact in the community, regardless of other criticisms that people had about LeBron's school.
Right.
It's still the fact that he's doing things that all of our brothers and sisters who have acquired this kind of money and this kind of power and wealth, they should all be doing. Now, here's the same man that is breaking up families at the border, separating families in Mexico on the Mexican border, and he's criticizing the man who's bringing people together in the community, doing what he should be doing as the so-called commander-in-chief of this country.
World,
Yeah. I also, I looked under K-Rino Pearson, that was also an Omarosa book herself, and said she never believed that he had said anything like that. Trump was said anything like using the N-word. How could she say that? And she didn't even inform Omarosa that she even said that or heard of that.
Well, K-Rino Pearson, I mean, unfortunately, you know, that's another sister that was a puppet. And, you know, she basically kissed Trump's butt to get high and high, and he fired her too. Right. So all of it, see, that's the thing, you know, you have people who just bootlick all the way up, and then once they have no more use for you, they're gonna get rid of you.
Right.
Plain and simple. It's the same scenario with these black pastors that just recently met with Trump. You sitting a whole table full of black pastors, then you got Trump sitting there just sucking up all this love and this butt kissing because Pharaoh's magicians are sitting around a table praising him, and the one guy, Daryl Scott, not the OG legend Daryl Scott.
Oh no, better not be. Better not be.
But this pastor out of Ohio named Daryl Scott actually called Trump. He said that Trump would be the best pro-black. He'll be the most pro-black president in our lifetime. And so that caused a whole social media uproar, and everybody went crazy because, to my knowledge, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I can't think of anything that Donald Trump has done that would fall under the category of being pro-black.
No.
Period.
No.
Nah.
You know, I can point out a lot of anti-black events or moves that he's made, but definitely nothing pro-black. So it begs the question, what are these individuals who go and sit down at the table and meet with this man, what are they gaining? What's being said behind closed doors and under the table, and to make them step out publicly and just hold this man up in such high regard and boost him up so high, and at the same time you have no care whatsoever about how the black community feels about you going up there claiming you representing us, because they ain't representing us.
Oh, no, definitely.
Plain and simple. Now, John Gray,
That's what I was about to say.
love him or hate him, you know, John Gray kind of came out and was like, look, I just went to just see what it was and see if I can get some dialogue with him. And that's a point that we got to kind of lend some understanding to a degree, if that's your real motive. Some people would say under no circumstances meet with Trump, don't meet with him under no circumstances. But you have other people that say, okay, well, look, if we want to put our grievances on the table, let's take it straight to his head. But if that's your mind frame, you better make sure that you really taking it to his head.
But I heard they couldn't even really have real dialogue with him.
Right.
It was basically him mostly talking.
Right. Well, you know, the only time he's not going to be talking is if he's giving the table to one of the bootlickers.
Okay.
He'll let you kiss his butt.
For opportunity.
Yeah. Opportunity. When opportunity knocks,
Yeah, it's time to coon up.
he will let you build him up and praise him. He'll let you do that. Because, but everything for him is basically just a photo op. It's just a chance to say, see, look, I don't hate black people. Look, I'm sitting around. Look, I'm trying to find solutions. I'm trying to see what we can do to make the black community better. But for the most part, the people that he brings in to meet with him, they ain't for the black community, no way. They ain't down with us. These are people. Some of these people we don't even know. And you stand up there like you representing for us. I can run off some names that I would love to replace at that table.
Yeah. And it's a reason they get tax free.
Oh well, yeah, you know that's a whole nother show episode right there.
Yeah.
If we get into the church hustle, you know, and just the hustle of just religion anyway, organized religion anyway, because it's not just church, it's not just Christians, it's all different faiths that have individuals who seek to profit off of the people
and pacify the men.
Yeah, and they're not giving anything back, and their whole sermons are just money driven. All their lectures are money driven, and it's, I need this plane, I need this helicopter, I need this new building, I need this new car. And those are some of the things. That's a whole nother show. We ain't gonna get it. You just gave me a new show idea. But yeah, it just
T. Jackson.
It just speaks to that point, man. And you have these individuals who feel as though getting near to him, getting near to this president is going to be a benefit to them, and they willing to sell out their own community, their own people, just for a little advancement in Pharaoh's house. And that's not going to happen tonight. Yeah, it's Freelance Friday, man. We all over the place, but we keeping it real. And, you know, we knocking cats across the head where need be. Again, the number is 713-526-KPFT if you want to call in. You can give an anonymous name so your job won't know you calling in to discuss this, especially if you agree with us. If you disagree, you might get a raise, you know. But it's all good, man. Before I forget, I want to shout out to my brother, K. Water.
Okay.
What's up, K. Water?
On lock up there in Lovelady, Texas, man, and everybody on his unit, everybody out there where he is, man. You know, just shout out to y'all. Y'all keep y'all head up and let you know we working for you out here, little bro. You know, don't think we ain't out here working for you. So,
Free K Water.
Without a doubt, you know, he'll be back in the fold soon. I also received a couple of letters as I walked in the door, so I want to shout my brothers out, man. Mabry J. Landor III and Tedrick Baptiste, they're both in Pulaski unit. So everybody that's listening to the show, man, that's on lock, y'all keep y'all head up, man, and stay positive. Focus on what you're going to be when you get out of there. I already be planning that now. Use that time wisely, man, to figure out how you're going to hit the ground running when you get out so that you never see the inside of that place again, because you best believe that TDC, they expect you back.
Most
the second they release you, they expect you to come back up in that thing.
They got that red carpet ready for you.
Yeah, they call it the revolving door. But we gonna beat the odds, man. You know, make the most out of your time. You know, learn a trade, figure out something to do while you're in there.
Exercise, get your body together.
Just keep it together, man. And you know, if for those who have strong support systems, you know, lean on your support system. For those who don't, because it's a lot of our brothers and sisters that's locked up. They don't have nobody on the outside that's putting money on their books. They don't have nobody on the outside that's looking out for them when they can call and do things of that nature. So they got to keep their head up a little stronger than other people, because they got to be tough, man. Just getting the basics in there. But use that as a motivation. Keep your prayers up. And, you know, we'll see you when you get out, man. Straight up. It is what it is, man. It's Freelance Friday, man.
Freelance Friday.
I want to go on, you know, if y'all want to go back into anything we talked to, man, y'all are more than welcome to do that. But something happened a couple of weeks ago. And it's funny because it happened to somebody who was a guest on our show.
Okay.
And that's the OG, the legend, the great Willie-D.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Oh, and they shut him down?
Yeah, man, they shut him down. YouTube shut him down. And it's crazy because the night he was on the show, he was like, "Hey, man, let's ride the Papacitos, man." So I said, okay, that's cool. So we rode the Papacitos and just was kicking it, chilling or whatever. And Willie-D was just giving me some game. He was just really telling me, I was telling him I was getting ready to do the YouTube thing, and he was like, "Yeah, man, this is what you got to do," and just really giving me a lot of tips that I incorporate right now into my YouTube thing as I'm trying to grow my channel. But if you're familiar with Willie-D, his show was Willie-D Live on YouTube. And basically what he did, any news stories that was popping off, he would show them, whether it's a clip, whether it was an article, he'd read the article or show the article, and then he would speak and give his opinion about it, and he would also present facts based around it, just details of what happened, if it was a court case or whatever the case may be. At no time that I ever watched Willie-D's show on YouTube was he loud, was he inciting violence or promoting or provoking people to carry out violence. I never saw him just on a profanity-laced tirade where he was cussing and going crazy, just riling people up like that. He would calmly sit down, lay it out on the table, and then end it. And he was telling me that night, he was like, what YouTube does when they feel like your content is inappropriate, they give you what's called a strike. It's like baseball. You get 3 strikes, you out.
Yeah.
They shut your channel down. And he was just telling me how they had been striking him and how he would always handle it, because you can appeal the strike, but a lot of people don't know how to basically go through the proper channels to appeal and deal with YouTube and kind of get those things accomplished. And recently they shut his channel all the way down. Shut it all the way down, man. Basically, again, over nothing. But Willie-D, being the dude that he is,
Got the swinging on him.
and look, and
The 5th Ward B's on him.
and he got the swinging on him, but not in the way that we may think or people may think. He got legal. He lawyered up on him.
Yeah.
And he brought in his lawyer. He brought in Brother Derek Muhammad, and they basically laid out everything on the table to show where YouTube was in error in shutting down his channel, and presented the case based on a lot of the other content that we see on YouTube every day that's 1,000% negative and derogatory. People fighting and twerking and all these different things going on that seem to be okay. Yeah. Why is this okay? But a man who's up there basically being a journalist,
commentating on it.
Yeah, and providing opinion here and there, you shut his channel down. So after not having a leg to stand on, YouTube reinstated his channel. He got back on air because, I mean, certain things that you can't deny. But the question is, why are people like Willie-D or any YouTubers that are trying to put out real content, conscious content? Alex Jones even got shut down.
He's still cut out.
Because and that's another thing. It was like, for people to say, oh, well, y'all just saying because he's black. No, Alex Jones got shut down too, and there have been others. It's been many.
He got shut down of all social media.
So I mean, so that's another level. He can't go on. He can't go on AOL chat room no more.
He can't have a Gmail.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the question is, what is it that Google, because that's who owns YouTube, what is it that Google is trying to prevent the public from seeing? So in my research, I was like, you know what? What's the deal, man? What's going on? And I'm pulling some things up, man. And lo and behold, I see where YouTube has a board that consists of members who are responsible for monitoring and vetting the content that goes through the YouTube channels, right? They watch this stuff and say, okay, nah, that's not good, that's not good. And they have these guidelines that are so vast in terms of the understanding of it. It's worded a certain way, but it could be interpreted any way they want it to be interpreted, in other words. Gotcha. So if you come to it with them, they can say, oh, no, that's not what it means. It actually means this, because it's not worded in a direct fashion. So, but when I seen that they had this board of members that monitor the content, and they make the decisions and the determinations on what they keep and what they remove or what they strike or whatever, it was interesting to find out that part of this board was none other than the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. And it all made sense after that. And for those who don't know who the ADL is a Jewish league of individuals who have been notorious for just going around, particularly in the black community, accusing anybody who is critical of their actions of anti-Semitism, of being racist, of being haters. And when nothing but facts are being presented, we all know, if you're familiar with the ADL, this is Minister Farrakhan's arch nemesis. Yeah. They've been after Mr. Farrakhan since probably 1980, since Jesse Jackson was running for president. But I found it strange that the ADL was part of this board. So all of these different YouTubers and all these different individuals who speak out against injustices, period, but they may also speak out against some of the injustices that are carried out by those higher ups in the Jewish community, then it all made sense to me. So I thought to myself, and I'll give it to you in a second, I thought to myself, I say, you know what? It's just a matter of time before they get me. You know, plain and simple. You know, plain and simple, because, you know, I'm not a person who's gonna just withhold what I know just to be a part of something that don't belong to me anyway. Bam. You know, something that could be taken away from me anyway. That don't belong to me, and I ain't scared of it, because I come from South Park, man. I mean,
Hey,
I didn't have this.
you said enough right there.
I didn't have this years ago. So whenever that time comes, because I'm gonna speak truth to power the same way our brothers do, you know. But go ahead, Keystone.
Oh, no, I was going to say the same thing. It was funny because a lot of people was bringing up the same idea about Minister Farrakhan. They were saying, how would they take his spot? And then they just don't even touch Minister Farrakhan, especially with the history that he had against them.
Yeah, well, you know, you got to think, and like I say, this Freelance Friday, so that takes me to Minister Farrakhan. The minister had a documentary that was getting ready to air on Netflix this month, and the night before the documentary was getting ready to air, Netflix pulled it and decided they was not going to run it.
Right.
Now, the question is,
That's what you're saying.
if y'all agreed from the get-go that this documentary was going to be run on Netflix, it was already understood. The minister didn't just make the documentary and then try to pitch it to Netflix. It was already an agreement in place. So at the last hour, why would you decide to say, on second thought, nah, we not going to run it? You know why they decided? Because they got pressured by somebody.
Makes sense.
Who could it have been? Now, I'm certain, without knowing, I'm certain that the ADL has something to do with that. Plain and simple. Now, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but this K-Rino talking. This ain't no... There's something that I read, you know, you got to forgive me when K-Rino starts talking.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, that's an uh-oh moment. But just knowing the history, I'm 1,000% certain that the ADL had a hand in it, even if they were not solo, just alone in this. I know that they had a hand in it. And the question is, what is it about Minister Farrakhan that you don't want people to see? Do you not want them to see that he is not the person that y'all have painted him out to be? Because that would be the biggest fear, or the second biggest fear. The biggest fear would be that, okay, he is going to bring facts to the table
I'm about to say truth
that will, again, expose your actions. See, so what is it? And Netflix, you know, they've had their little situations. We heard about the Monique situation or whatever. But for the most part, they've always been considered a little more open and a little more not like everybody else. So it was kind of shocking to see that they would pull the documentary under whatever heat that they were under. But shocking I won't say shocking. It was like, whoa, but in reality, nothing shocks me as it relates to when I hear the Minister Farrakhan's name is tied into it, because, hey, that's just the kind of dude he is. He's going to ruffle the feathers of those who oppose him, and he's going to scare all of the coons and the and people of that ilk, you know. So there's a lot going on right now, man. There's a lot going on around the world. And we're going to make sure that if it passes through our ears, we're going to make sure that we pass it on to y'all to the best of our ability, man. Y'all still got a little time if y'all want to call in. The number is 713. We don't get a lot of calls on night when we go in on shows like this. You know, it's very rare. You know, it's very rare. You know, and or just people just listening and learning. You know, I give you the benefit of the doubt.
Sucking it up.
You know, some people just suck up the game. You know, and I respect that. You know,
yeah, some run from the game,
but yeah, some do run from the game. You know, but I like to give everybody a platform. Like I say, even if they disagree with what we're saying, you know, you're more than welcome.
I also got to say, rest in power to the Queen of Soul.
Oh, yeah, most
definitely. Oh, come on, Keystone. Thank you,
Franklin.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
That's big, because when you talk about just straight icons, man, you know, she couldn't have had a perfect nickname, man.
The Queen of Soul.
You know, just the Queen of Soul, man. She was one of, if you had to name 5 of the greatest singers of all time, I said, man, just you can only take 5 with you, just pure singers, man. she got to be in your 5, man.
Yeah, definitely.
When you can just cut the music off. You know, just cut the music off and let her sing. Oh, something happened. The sound went out, but the mic still work. Man, Aretha gonna shut it down regardless, man.
Most definitely. And everybody really don't know her if you saw what the news channel did to her.
Nah, what you talking
They
about?
put Patti LaBelle.
Yeah, they put Patti LaBelle.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. I didn't even know that. See that, but where they say we all look alike.
That's
but
what it.
Here's the deal, man. They did that one time with Samuel Jackson and Lawrence Fishburne.
Mm-hmm.
They was confusing. They kept on. A guy was interviewing Samuel Jackson and kept referring to him as Lawrence Fishburne, and he was like, "Man, hey, man, I'm not Lawrence Fishburne. I'm Samuel Jackson." You know, that's some of the most disrespectful nonsense that you could ever pull off. Somebody as iconic as Aretha Franklin, and it's disrespectful to Patti LaBelle. Because in her mind, she's like, I'm good. I ain't going nowhere. Don't put me out there like that.
Oh man, the media did it to her. It was a news channel did it to her. Real bad.
Yeah, and see, and you got all these different people working there, all these different people that's supposed to have this knowledge or working in these different departments. That's a mistake that can't be made. But guess what? That's cool. That's why it's up to us to uplift her.
That's right.
See, everybody on social media should have had a picture of Aretha Franklin. You
Most
know,
definitely.
plain and simple, man. I see we got a call on the line, and if this is who I think it is, man, I'm really happy to have him on the line because he had been trying to get in a few weeks, so we finally get a chance to talk to our brother. Let's bring him in. Brother James, salam alaikum, big brother.
Walaikum salam, dear brother. How are you?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I'm
James.
so glad. I'm so glad you finally got through, family.
Yes, sir, brother. You know, your brother has been traveling, brother, for the past 15 days, brother, throughout the southeast and the northeast, brother. Was up in Pennsylvania, and I see firsthand the destruction that the God is putting on America, brother.
Wow.
They have flooding that's been unprecedented.
Wow.
Up there, brother, and I'm telling you, you know, we know who's in control and who's in power.
No doubt.
I'm just so happy and elated to talk to my brothers. This is a powerful show tonight.
Man.
Brothers, I commend you on the courage and that you're showing in expressing, you know, your truths and the truths of what's really going on out here, man. It just takes me back to that first Matrix movie, brother, where, you know, you have to decide whether you want to take the blue or the red pill.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And truth, you know, wherever it touches a human being, it changes you instantly.
Yes, sir.
And that's what we're afraid of, what the powers that be are afraid of. You know, there's so much of untruth and lies, and that's where the battle lies, being perpetrated throughout the airways, that it's hard to decipher what is truth and what is fiction, or what is, as they eloquently put it, fake news.
Right.
But, you know, you brothers are coming with so much truth tonight. You know, it just inspired me to call, you know, to give it that one more try to get through. and I'm so thankful that I did. But I just wanted to commend you brothers on speaking the truths and understanding that the airwaves are holy.
Yes, sir.
They're divine.
No doubt. No doubt.
And whatever goes on these airwaves, it permeates throughout the universe.
Right.
And I just commend you, brothers, and I love you, brothers. And you know me, brother K-Rino. You know how I roll.
No doubt.
And I know that me and you and the things that we do and what we're involved in, brother, are making a difference.
Man, brother,
in the lives of the community here in Houston.
Without a
I love
doubt.
you, brother.
Love you too, brother James. Thank you for calling. You know you're welcome to call in anytime, and we appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I want to just, you know, for people who don't know, man, that's my brother. He is so, I can't even describe his spirit. You know, he got such a great spirit, and he's such a giving individual, man. Such a person who loves the black community. He's always going above and beyond. Even times when I'm slipping and slacking, he covers for me. And so I appreciate that, brother. And I appreciate your kind words, because we're going to keep it going, because anytime, you know, we step out and try to take these kind of stances, it's going to be opposition. We know our opposition is coming, but that's not going to stop us. We got another call coming in. Okay, we got time for one more before we shut it down. Let's get him in. Go ahead, caller. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, man, this is Joe Clark, man, from xcon.com.
Joe, let's keep it close to home.
Hey, man, you know how it is, man. I just wanted to call and the same thing, man. Just appreciate, man, everything you and all y'all doing up there, man.
Appreciate you.
No, we appreciate you, man, and definitely appreciate what y'all do on the prison show. So I mean, it's everything plays its part, and everybody has a hand in making this thing work towards the greater good. I think we lost Joe, but him calling reminded me of something. Now tomorrow, there's gonna be two big events tomorrow, three big events actually. There's two backpack drives going on in the city of Houston. Okay. One is taking place at 11 a.m. to 3, and the other one is taking place simultaneously from 12 noon to 3. And I'm gonna say it quick. If y'all listening at home, I hope y'all can write these addresses down. One is at 9716 West Montgomery Road, and the other one is at 9550 North Wayside. So those are the two addresses. We're just asking people, hey, just bring one backpack
for
minimum.
Each event.
Yeah, to any event. You can catch both of them. I'll be at both. But if you want to just catch one, whichever's closer to you, come through, drop off a backpack with some school supplies in it.
Sow a seed.
Yeah, sow a seed, man. Get a blessing. Like I say again, that's 9716 West Montgomery Road at 11 a.m. And the other one will be at 9550 North Wayside at 12 noon. So please, man, y'all come on out. It's all part of an initiative headed. One of them is by Sister Frida, who's doing a great job, and the other one, Sister Shay, is doing a great job as well. And our group, South Park Coalition, the ARC, and the 50/50 Club, we joined on to their event. And so we're going to go out there and mob up and try to make it a little easier for our youngsters going back to school, man. You know, also I want to shout out to my homie Q Solo from the #1 spot who came in tonight, man.
And you got to be one.
Sold us some live, man, without a doubt, man. And again, man, your big brother K-Rino, you can catch me on Twitter at The Real K-Rino. My YouTube channel is The Real K-Rino. Murder, go ahead and give them yours.
Yo, my YouTube is SPC Murder 1 ONE. Same thing on Instagram and Facebook.
Go ahead, Keisto.
Oh, it's Keisto, man. I only do Instagram. So it's Keisto, Keesto on Instagram. And also, if you want to get some videos shot or some websites made, hit me up on No Regret Media, noregretmedia.com, and also Instagram at No Regret Media.
And we appreciate y'all as usual for tuning in every Friday night. We'll be back next Friday, man. Your big brother K-Rino, K-Rino Radio, live and direct, man.